How we doing? It's your boy Kamar back at it again. I know it's been a little bit. The last time did a video or kind of posted anything was about a little over a month ago. Um, and kind of been busy, had some real life stuff happen, but hope to kind of get you guys some, kind of the first video layout as far as breaking down some stuff and just looking at some football, whether it be technique, um, schematic, all that kind of good stuff that we did in that first little breakdown with the Ravens and Chiefs. So today, instead of looking at some NFL film, something I had in mind was kind of looking at some of the stuff that I personally, or some teams I've been a part of. So this little first section, we're going to start off looking at some uh, Nichols College. That's one of the places I used to work at. So looking at this, so we got is it playing? Oh, there it goes. All right. So, and most of these I kind of just want, as far as this stuff, I want to look at the back shot or the butt shot. Um, at least whenever I was with this program, I was with the offensive line. So, um, I believe what we're doing here is running inside zone to the left, and we tagged it with an RPO. So we're reading. It's going to be little annoying. So we're reading this defensive. Wrong stuff. Raw right here. So we got really a 4-3 box as far as the scheme of the defense. You got your Mike backer, your home backer here. You got your other backer hipped out here, and then you got your guy hipped out all the way out of the box here. But it's a 4-1-4-3 structure. So what we're doing here is we're essentially soloing this. We're comboing this to the mic, and then backside, we're comboing that to the backside linebacker -1. And then again, we're reading this defensive end as far as whether to pull it and whatever the case may be. Now, let's get rid of this annotation. All right. So now what we're doing here, front side, again, like I said, play side tackle, he's solo. So one of the things, it's kind of you got a head up two, and you got essentially a tight five, almost a borderline four. So really, both these guys, you you want I always taught as far as base rule, you step play side, you get vertical. But in this case, what really, I mean, if you tell a guy to step play side, you tell him to do this, and then you get some type of action right here. It's not the best. So this play side tackle, he's kind of got the freedom to take his first step, be almost pick it up, put it down. Second step goes to his toe. So toe to toe relation. Again, he's thinking I'm solo. Now, bear with me with this freaking editor. So now, guard though, however, he could take play side forward because again, he's got help with the Jason alignment in this case, the center. So he could still step play side here. Second step, he can split the crotch. But again, since we got where's their backer at though? If this backer was like a 30 backer, that's kind of what you would want. But since this guy's head up over the center, it's almost somewhat similar to the play side tackle as far as stepping inside, but he can still step play side. Thing is, it's still almost play side foot. This second step doesn't really go to the crotch. It almost still gained as much width, so it's almost toe to crotch. Now, the center, what he can do in this type of instance, he could slow play because, again, he's blocking essentially the guy that's right, again, head up right in front of him. So now, some cases, especially with this guy that I coached here, he was very athletic. He could gallop into it, gallop. So, gallop full work, he would gallop into this D lineman's hip and then climb vertical. Now, I think that's what he's kind of trying to do in this clip, but you he can have the freedom to be able to do that. Now backside here, it could be a true combo, play side, both play side, get vertical. Now again, the uncovered man, the trail man, in this case, he reads this near hip one step and then he could climb to this backside backer. So let's see how everything kind of played out. Again, this film is about now almost going on 2 or 3 years now. Crazy. Been that long. So see how it plays out. So you look at the play side tackles footwork, it was really tight, his 1-2. So he didn't take inside footwork. He stepped play side, which again, that was fine. Play side guard. Obviously, you would not like him to give up that much penetration. But again, the inside zone, the way it's supposed to, the way, we taught, you taught it here is you hit it, you know, play side A to backside A. It's an A to A run. It shouldn't be anywhere else. Obviously the running backs read, you can read the first down lineman to the second down lineman, but it's one cut. It's not we're not bouncing shit here. It's straight downhill. It's an A to A run, reading, again, aiming points to the center, and then obviously here. So again, we're in a pretty good shape right here. Obviously, since we're reading this guy, backside tackle, we would like his pad level to be lower so he doesn't get driven down into the gap or into the he doesn't get delivered down by the D lineman. But as far as where everybody's at, again, this backside guard here is a little bit too high in his pad level, but again, I think we end up getting a pretty positive run there. I think the guy that makes the tackles, like the guy that's out of the box. So let's look at this next. Yeah, let's go to the tight. All right. And again, this team we knew was a predominantly a 4-1, 4-3 kind of box team anyway. So looking at this now, I believe we ran G GH or GY. Yep, we did. So what we did here, wait, so they gave us an over front. So over front again, we got a three technique to the tight end, so that the defense called the strength to the tight end. Again, we ID this front even 4-1 box. Again, you got the hipped out backer out here. You got this guy almost he's in a 50 tech over the back play side tackle. So looking at what we did now, one thing again, as far as usually, I think I talked about in this deal with you guys, reading our triangle, like if we're this play side tackle, if we got this DN essentially almost again, it's kind of hard to see with this hole in the way, the marker. But anyways, you got a tight five, almost a head up four, and you got the backer right over him. You think, some alarm should be going off. There's got to be some type of movement, whether I'm thinking to collect this DN. And what I mean by collect, like if this DN were to cross my face, I collect it, and then I let the backside guard kick out the next thing, which should be this guy if he comes over the top. Now, if they both stay outside, obviously I'm not going to force movement whenever there's no movement. But if he stays outside and whatever, I still stay on my track. So really, pre-snap, I'm still calling a deuce and reducing it right here to the mic. Deuce to the mic. Again, we played around as far as who was pulling. Like if we had a three technique, which he's a tight three here, we would like the center to be able to pull, but it's really a preference thing. Like if you have a good center, which we did in this case here, we would want him to pull more times than not. But obviously a good center too, he could back block this three technique as well too. So back block here, obviously this is your first puller. He's trapping. If he's pulling left, he's hitting left, he's staying tight to the butts of the down blocks, and he's kicking out. You want to always try to teach the kick out. Obviously, if it happens where this guy tries the wrong arm and spill it, then you'll log it, and then your second puller will be outside the log. So that's one thing you got to teach there whenever it comes to kicking and wrapping. Backside tackle, he's got the B gap hinge. So always got to make sure this B gap, especially with the three technique, you can vice this or kind of help out the center here, and then wheel back to the five or the C gap player, and then obviously the rat puller, you're pulling for +1 in the count, which is this guy here, and obviously you want to read whether it's a kick. If it's a kick by the guard, I'm up and through. If it's a log, then I'm getting around the pool right there by the guard. So let's see how things play out here. All right, so yeah, it's kind of tough with this the way this kind of works with this. So looking at him. So again, we back block it with the center, and again, everybody should be stepping. So since we're running a gap scheme. In this case, we're running it to the left. Everybody should be stepping with their play side foot, which is their right foot. So again, guards really got a down block, even though we're calling a deuce there. He's a down. I mean, it's almost the same as the center right here. Except again, we want to be able to cover up this color, cover up that color more than we did there. Now, this front side defensive end right here, he's not really trying to cross this play side tackle's face. Now, if he was, I would want this play side tackle to be able to try to collect it. But again, whenever you got a guy that's just delivering you down, it looks like this guy's expecting something to come back. You again, as the tackle, you want to be able to stay low so you don't let that happen. So again, we got to do a better job. We didn't do a good job um, right there. So let's let it keep playing. Damn, what the hell did that happen that fast? Hmm. So in this case, you still should get a kick here. Guard kind of we don't really get that to happen. But what does happen is again, no matter what you are as a puller, and the tight end does a good job as far as cleaning this up for us. But if there's any color, even though obviously in this case the guard is wrong, you still got to block color, and the tight end does a good job as far as making us right there. It's almost like we are running an inverted counter. So good job right there by the tight end, making the O line right. We were we were wrong right. All right, we ran a play action. See how the pro would. Jesus, what I'm saying. Freaking films. All right, so we're running a play action pass right here. I believe we're just running it off of we're running it off of inside zone, or I believe we may have called, running off an inside zone. So looking at this, as far it's the same ID system as you would ID as inside zone. However, in this case with the 4-1, we're going to gain an extra hat because we obviously got the tailback since it's a play action pass. So, so here we go. So really, it almost is kind of like, so as far as the count being, like, again, how we ID'd it. Now, since it's backside, let me, let me, so again, running this play action pass right here. Obviously, uncovered. I'm looking, I don't want to create gaps in protection. Like, I don't want to create big seams for run through, whatever the case may be. So I don't mind what the guard does right here. Only thing I'd say is he doesn't need to take the big step outside to then step back hard inside. Pick it up, put it down, have presence with this A gap player right here. His eyes can be do better and have be right here to his backer. Obviously, almost like how it was with inside zone, like we talked about toe to toe relation right here. Now, again, believe we had heavy twos right here. Uh, so Nope, we got a third. So we got a gap player here, three backside. So really, again, this backside tackle, he's almost kind of in a bind, but really, again, he's covered in the sense of if he looks in his, you know, outside and as far as inside zone, any zone scheme, outside, head up, inside, if he looks in his outside gap, because obviously we're running it to, in his case, he's on the backside. If he looks in his gap, he's got color. So he should be coming right here. Now, obviously, not leaving the tight end out to try, but he's still got a step to his front side gap right here. Obviously, the tight end, he's covered. He's got to go. And obviously, that's why we got the tailback to be able to peel off backside and look for work from here to obviously there. But again, we're essentially we got this combo for these two. We got these two, essentially these two are almost a combination of three for these three right here. So pro, it's very, very similar to how uh kind of how it would be for the run scheme, except now you got the tailback obviously to add another hat into the mix. And again, everybody should be stepping play side. Now, like I said, I didn't like how that front side guard kept step like he worked against the grain because if you look at how 38 triggers, if he now again he triggers because obviously you see the hard a good fake by the Q. But if this guy was really to come and just keeps working back to that A gap player, as a lineman, it's hard to be able to move and redirect and like we're not made to move. We're made to move. And if you keep doing like as far as that, now obviously he didn't come, but you got to be able to again know how to distribute your weight and know when to move. You just can't move. You can't have any wasted movement. I mean, you can't have any wasted movement at any position, but especially as an offensive line. All right, so good little scramble. Now let's look at so again a true 4-1 box. So protection. Protection wise, we're sliding it to the left. This picture, or at least the way we see it, is from our right. So again, everybody's responsibility. Center responsible for the A gap. Play side guards responsible for B. Play side tackle responsible for the C. So again, gaps, not men. Now backside in an even front guard, backside guard responsible for the first man on the line of scrimmage. So it's three tech for two. And this backside tackle is responsible for two LOS, so the second man on the line of scrimmage. That four. So now, usually, as far as whenever we were in this offense, anytime it feels quick game, we would always jump set it. Let's see if it play. Sucks. All right. So that's a so as far as looking at the picture, we go back. All right. So one thing too about how to take sets as far as obviously when you get into these predicaments of pass pro, if you have what I and I ID these as like there's three kinds of things. So if you have in this case any type of tight technique, so tight can be, you know, head up, any any type of as far as if this guy's hat is touching you. So whether that could be head up, he could be shaded inside, he could be shaded outside, whatever. That is tight. So you got a tight technique, you only take one. Like and you only and it's not even my fault. If you got a tight, you're just picking it up and putting it down. If you got a tight technique, so in this case, and if and usually if I tell him if you think he's gonna cross your face, then pick it up and put it down to your inside. So again, pretty much all these guys, this is a tight, this is a tight, this is a tight. So pick it up and put it down. And again, if they think they're crossing their face, pick it up and put it down with their inside, because then you could be able to redirect and be able to stop that rush. Um, so that's tight. Now again, The second one would be loose. So let me erase this. So say if this defender was like out here with his X's. So loose is identified if his hat is off your body. If he's off of your body, like you can't touch. So like if this guy was where this X is, now I take 145 and read his rush. So I take 145. Obviously, if he keeps expanding up the field, I'll just keep setting vertical. And obviously I'll punch whenever we get to that phase. Or if I set and then he starts to redirect, then I take one and then I start, powering it down inside. Now lastly, so now say if he's like a wide nine or a wide rusher, he's all the way out here. Now I start to set vertical. So now again, and it's not just like I'm setting like in a straight line vertical. I still got to get a little bit of width. So I set for one, take two vertical. Does that make sense? So that's and then again that's three. So it's tight. Either he's tight, he's either head up, he's tight inside, or if he's tight outside on your kick foot, I'm just picking up and putting it down. And again, if you think he's gonna cross your face, I'm picking up and put it down with you know, your inside foot. Now for a center, it's a little bit different. So let me do that. I mean, as far as if he's tight and head up and say if it's like a bare front where it's everybody's you're manning it across the board. So say if we have a head up nose here, and then this guy's a little bit more of a three. Now as a center, if he's like this, I will set a little bit vertical to get off the ball so I can get on the level of my guards because I as a center you're already on the line of scrimmage. You got to get off the line of scrimmage. So let me pause it right when we take our first steps if we obviously do that because I know the film is a little jacked. So how everybody's set, that's I mean we're in pretty good shape. Now the only person that really has a double team, obviously we're responsible for this mic. The center's responsible for this mic. We're sliding it to the left, but we should be able to again pick up where this mic is at. So I'm fine with what we're doing. Obviously, this guy's hasn't decided what he's doing, but if obviously this guy was the trigger, that's ours. Tailback really should have anything from out he like the flattery defender out to the in this type of look. So and again, once I take one, I should be ready to strike. Like right here, I know it's kind of hard to see. Uh, the left tackle. His hands are in pretty good shape. We can get our left arm here at right tackle up a little bit more. I think punches. Yeah. Let's rewind it over. Now, one thing again about pass pro, it's not passive. So, like I said, like it's pretty good by the center as far as the backer's not coming. I look for a double team, and then he's not coming. I go hit. I go look for ribs. So that's really good by the center. Now the right tackle, see how he kind of winds up on his punch. We don't want that. Like his hands were in a really good spot to be able to strike. Now just put them there. We can always adjust and get them back inside. But if we wind up, that's just giving the D lineman leverage to be able to get under our pads. All right, why did I tap this? Let's look at this. All right, so now this is more of a, let get back into 4-1 structure. All right, so believe. All right, so it is kind of a 4-1 structure. I know that Mike isn't necessarily right over the center, but if he has a piece of the center, you still want to ID that as a 4-1 structure. See how he still has a piece of the center. So, and I believe the flat area defender, he's walked up on this picture back like he's walked up right here. I believe we slid the protection to the field. So that's the tailbacks. Now obviously you can get in the case where you know you're getting blitz. Obviously, if you have time, you'd be able to opposite the protection. Now, we didn't do it in this case, and that's on the in this offense. It was on the quarterback to be able to do that, but nonetheless, it's still picked up. It should still be picked up. If it's six-man pressure, you still should be able to pick it up. Um, Let me take this notes out. So, looking at how this plays out, again, you got the A gap player front backside, excuse me. So now, one thing I don't, at least looking at how this plays, play, golly. So like I talked about, I don't like when, in protection you shouldn't be leaving gaps. So even though even though front side the center doesn't really necessarily have anything, he's almost uncovered because he has a bubble. Still, you shouldn't void out and leave your backside guard. We could have presence, so he could set, have his left hand out or stab, and look in his gap. So set, stab, gap. So if this happens, I'm still there. But see how this. Let's go back now. Again, that's on the guard. The guard's got to be able to get there. So even though this is inside, whenever he's inside of you, I know it sounds a little bit nasty. If he's inside of you, though, I gotta really lose some ground and almost soft post this to be able to get my hips to marry his hips. So I gotta go as a guard. Like I gotta get on my horse and go to be able to cut this thing off. Like the center, yeah, he could have more presence here, but again, he's responsible for this gap. So even though there's nothing in his gap, pre-snap, we should just go. So even though there's nothing in his gap pre-snap, you look at how it plays out post-snap, there's color in his gap. He's got to go. So again, if there's a defender backside, like if I'm that backside guard, I can soft, what I mean? What I mean by soft post is so see, like he's the left guard. So his feet, let's go back. So obviously you have your left foot up. He has his left foot up. It's like probably right there with the, it's like probably right here. Obviously his right foot's there. So what I mean by so, like whenever we teach post, as an offensive line coach, the way I was taught it, obviously you're posting flat. You're going flat down the line. When you kick, obviously it depends on how you're kicking, but since the guards and centers control the width of the pocket, it's going to be a little bit more flattened. They kick, and obviously tackles they'll get a little bit um, more depth. But anyways, going back to this point, when I soft post though, when I start to soft post this thing, I will start to lose just a touch of ground because again, this guy's going forward. Like this guy's going forward. It's going to be kind of hard to be able to tell a guy post this thing down. It's because if I really flatten him out, it's going to turn into a down block, which means it's going to create color for a lane to be able to. We don't want that. So what I mean by he's got a soft post that he's going to naturally lose a little bit of ground, so his hips marry the defender's hips, and that's how it is. Like in pass pro or just blocking people in general, if my hips are in front of the defender, I'm blocking him. Obviously, then it comes down to where then obviously having my hat in a certain spot, nonetheless. But my hips, and which mean my feet need to move to be able to cover up the color. So we got to be able to soft post that better as the guard backside. And then obviously, like I said, center needs to go, which he did go. Everybody else in a pretty good spot. Let's go to this next place. I believe this was towards the end of the first half. Just seeing bodies hit the ground. Oh, I love it. So obviously, like I said, I think it's towards the end of the first half. So in most cases, they'll, you sub out a big to bring in a skinny, so you don't give up anything deep. But one thing again, like I talked about in pass pro, it does not mean it's passive. Like that's one thing I loved about he moved to right guard because we ended up having a injury. But this guy was looking. This guy was always looking to put his head into something. Now, granted, like didn't matter if he was like he got end up getting two knockdowns. So again, just looking at how this plays out, now it's a little like again, it's a little usually, on a three-man front, you'll have so they got three down linemen. Like at least on the line of scrimmage, they got three down linemen. However, um, the line did a pretty good job of communicating. Like instead of this guy being a nose or having a nose here, and then there's fives, like they end up kicking this guy. They end up having a five and essentially a nine outside of that five. So, and then nobody lined up in the interior. So did a good job as far as sliding it essentially 3 for 2 here, and then we had two here. Um, Again, like I said, it's towards the end of half, but really good job. Just again being physical at the right guard spot. All right, let's go to. I missed a play. Let's go. What are we doing? Do we run GH again? Yep, that's what I thought we did. All right, so again, we got the over front to the tight end. Still pre-snap, still calling a deuce to the mic. We had the guard pulling here, back block with the center, B gap hinge, wrapping for +1, kicking out the first thing outside the play side tag. See how we did. So pretty good job. Again, this is kind of a muggy area as far as for the read right here by this play side, or excuse me, the backside guard. Again, we always want to try to teach kick, kick, kick. If it gets in this gray area, obviously you just got to make a decision. And he made a decision to log it. So now probably could argue you could have kicked it and to see how obviously the tight end's still trying to go up and through. It's just something again you got to be able to drill constantly, especially if you're going to be a gap team. No, let's see. Let's see this one. So again, another 4-1 box. Oh shoot. Jesus Christ. Fucking this. All right. So I'm trying to think. What are we doing here? Guess we're running reading this backside deep. All right. So we're just running inside zone. Again, reading this backside DN. Golly, I don't know why it goes. Can I change that from 10 seconds to whatever? However, so again, IDing it. Again, we should be here, and then we're there, and obviously reading this guy. This receiver's got here, arcing right there. And obviously, boom. How we play it out here. So center, it's not bad, but that's not a bad job. The play side combination, the center and play side guard. Now the backside guard and tackle. Only thing, so the thing about zone is again we're on train tracks, right? You know, feet feet aren't terrible. Now what happens is this hand feet aren't bad by the backside guard, but what happens is like now he's staying in the B gap. it's a one step indicator right on inside zone, like we talked about, I think before. So after my first step, if that guy stays in the B gap, again, backside tackle, that's why he's there. He was covered to begin with. He was the trail man. Now I start to work to get off. If once I get off right there, ball should grease right down his ass right there, right? Now, whoa, whoa, all right, now let's see. We do this play. One protection. No, I think this was quick. So let's see. Let's see if we see how our jump sets look. So the way, and again, a true jump set, and like the way I taught these guys, the jump set was a little bit different, just because a true jump set in my eyes, if, like say if I'm this tackle again, it's kind of hard to truly jump set a four, but if I got like a wide five and this guy's rushing, I take again if he's loose, I take my 145 and then now I go to jump. But when I jump, like I think we talked about that clip with Ronnie Stanley a couple months back. When I go to jump though, it's all hands, right? Like I'm throwing my hat back, I'm getting my face like, but it's all hands. So it's I still take my set, and then I go to jump. I'm 1-2 hand hat back on three. But the way I kind of taught it with these guys is almost kind of like the way I learned it, like almost a wrap set, like a run action pass. Now their feet, they won't be no like they're running inside zone, but it would still be I'm taking a set, jumping, like I'm real aggressive with my set. So the way like I think we're setting to the we got the pro to the left. So it's essentially backside, really there's no really need to jump. It's almost like I could treat it like toe to toe, have back on three. Like it's because again, we got head up techniques. It's really it just kind of depends on the alignment of the lineman. So that's pretty. Now, now again, just like we talked about, like with that last clip at center, we got a new center at here. Like again, just being violent. Like there was nothing. There was no immediate defender. Like he was uncovered. Now look for violence. Look to help out your guy. This was actually our first touchdown of the year. I think this was back in 22. So no, it's crazy. It's almost 3 years ago. My God. So I believe this is so now we're not jump setting. We're just again we're set. Got the pro to the right. Obviously, it's a little bit dingy as far as the pro because obviously the fumble snap. But again, so on the man side, backside, again, like that's really when it comes in. I'm setting tight. I'm set like is my defender tight, loose, or wide? When it comes to like really the slide side, again, that doesn't really necessarily it doesn't necessarily come into play because again these guys are responsible for gaps, so we should all be setting a little bit in our gaps because again we're not blocking men, we're blocking gaps. So looking at how this plays out again, this is a pretty good picture. Again, this team really didn't blitz a whole lot either. Again, would like to be able to have that the backside guard get his hat out of the block. See how he kind of buries his hat right there. Because if he has his hat out, he just keeps fighting. He's able to be able to sustain that block a little bit more. Now, one thing too, again, whenever these situations happen, go celebrate. Obviously it was a big play, and we were down like three scores at half, and we end up mounting a really big comeback to be able to win this game. So this was a really exciting game to be a part of. Um, go to another game, or at least Yeah, let's go to another game. Oh my God. Yeah, let's go to that. Got better butt shots. We don't got a goddamn goal post. All right, so this was at the home game for us. That last game was away. So now different team, but same. We got an even front. Now instead of it being a 4-1 box, we got a true 4-2 box. Golly, this is gonna be annoying. All right, and we're running another. We're running a inside zone. The read again. Reading this defensive end. We got like a little bluffer right here with the tight end to be able. Tight end's really responsible for this guy right here. O line's responsible for obviously everybody in the box except this guy. So combinations how they play out. So again, now this is where we kind of get into the if we got a really heavy gap player like backside we do right here, the backside guard, instead of singling it, like instead of calling a combination with the play side guard, I can A it with the backside guard. So I'm here to there, that which is telling again these two guys that they're really solo front side, and then obviously backside tackle got a kill shot to the backside linebacker. Obviously, still same read for the tailback A to A. So see how we do here. So yeah, that's all. This is annoying. So again, he A's it. We get up to the backside tackle or backside tackle gets up to the backside guard, and then we're 1-on-one right now with the safety. So it's a pretty good job right there. Pretty good job not getting the holding call as well by the backside tackle. All right. Now, unfortunately, this was a touchdown right here, but gets gets called back. Let's see what happened. It's a crazy game. We end up scoring almost 80 points, like 75. Man. So here we're running pin and pull. Right here we're running pin and pull. So we trying to pause it at the picture. So we're getting a pin by the tight end. And again, this is now I'll give this is a tough block as far as versus a head up six. Because it's almost like you gotta like this is what we do now in our vernacular in offense I'm in now is like if you got a six and you're running pin and pull, we make a 6-6 call. Or excuse me, a 3-3 call, which means like it's not gonna be that definitive, like it may not be definitive. It's really talking to this front side of the first puller here. So the 3-3 call really is I'm trying to like reach it, and if I can, once I get it reached, then I'll try to pin it. But like, so I get my first step. Like my first step's going to be a little bit of width. Then obviously, if he declares where he's going to go, then I'll go. But if he steps with me, then I'm just going to keep reaching him. Now if this three call gets stretched out. Now this puller can just go inside of the tight end, if that makes sense. However, if the tight end is able to get it pinned, then he's obviously around. That means the other second puller should be he will fit off this first puller and he should be up in the side. So that is a tough block as far as versus a six. But ideally, this is how it will draw up. You're here, first puller, we're kicking, or we're kicking here, we're down here, we're wrapping, we're here, and then backside guard and tackle, we reach to the backside linebacker or -1. So let's see. Like an old man when maneuver through this. All right, I think we're gonna miss it. Oh, of course. All right. So like right there, that's not. I mean, tie with tight end, but that's not bad. Now, if he would have run his feet, get his hand, reposition his hands, he probably won't get this call. But like I said, I know that is a hard block. But good job by the pullers getting around. That's really good job by the tailback. You see, breaking the tackle and running hard. Good job by these other guys running down the field too. Flat bellies. All right, let's go to this one. So I believe if we ran GH here. So again, same prim now talking about GH. Now it's a 4-1 box. Now you got these backers walked up on the line of scrimmage. Again, something like we talked about, something's rotten in Denmark, right? So if these guys have walked up like this, if these guys have walked up like this, usually they're going to be coming, right? So, which means if they're off, if they got the C gap, these guys usually will be responsible for B, crossing face, and then usually you got that type of look at this guy should be able to make you right, be able to make the tackle, the Mike. So, with that being said, the play side tackle should be ready to collect this movement. He's got to be able to collect this movement. Let's see if we do that. Yep, he does a good job collecting. Now, again, like his pad level and stuff isn't the greatest, but he does do a good job collecting the movement right there. But again, if you could be able to block a blitz, especially something like that, usually it could pop just like that. Just look at it from the tank. So I believe we could. I mean, essentially it's power, but I think we may have tried to call GH. I'm not tripping. It could be tripping. Yeah, I think I'm tripping. We call power. So we just call power. Again, we got a 4-2 box, an under front. So now the three techniques away from the tight end. So still deucing us all the way back to the backside linebacker, wrapping the +1. Now these guys, this is the fourth quarter too of the game, so these guys got tired of hitting the O line and that getting getting these guys, our guys getting up on them. But this is again, you're gonna do that. This is what you're gonna get. So obviously, our guy Melvin took a great sacrifice, but hey, he ended up getting a touchdown out of it. Can't complain, right? So all right, let's look at it from time another butt. So we got 12 personnel. We were just running inside zone at this point. Yep. So now this is a really good job by this backside tackle. So again, 4-2 box. I mean, really, and then you got the Sam walked up. So or he not really walked up, but he's apex. So 4-2 structure. Again, got an under front. So so really, this combination's going all the way out to +1. This combination's going to the mic. This combination's going to -1. And then this guy's got the backside DN or backside C gap defender. So seeing how it plays out, seeing how it plays out. So not bad. As far as again, this is, and I believe again, this was a 6. So again, usually head up techniques, like I think we talked about, these guys that read and react, they're reading, you as the tight end in this case or as the offensive lineman. And then so tackle it becomes covered. And once this kind of happens, now the tight end, what he can do is then obviously come off to this. But again, inside zone, it should never hit out there anyways. So I mean, obviously you would want him to pop off to this, but really, again, this guy should have, unless he was blitzing, this guy is no part of the play if he's like that anyway. Um, so good job. But this is going back to what I was going to say. This is a really good job by the backside tackle. So he steps play side. Once he steps play side, get there. Boom, he steps play side. Now again, see how there's movement happening. Now again, he crosses over, whatever. Obviously, don't want that to happen. But what I do like is once he sees his backer, he's working backside, and once he pops off to this, look how this really creates the scene. So again, just understanding you stay on your tracks. Now, again, I know that guy like that wasn't his that you could say that's not in his track though, but nonetheless, he stays with it. Like that guy doesn't fall back into the play. You know what I mean? Like this, he's on the backside. So again, you can look at everybody else. Obviously, at this front side, we could finish a little bit better, but that's what can happen. You know what I mean? I believe I got a clip. That's one thing I kind of want to get to is let's actually look at that. Some old Abilene Christian. Let me pull that up. So again, that was a couple years ago. Um, I had a great time coaching those guys. A lot of some of those guys now are about to be seniors at that program. I know they're going to do a phenomenal job there. Uh, but man, that was at Nichols College, Division III. The year prior, we didn't perform that well offensively. We were like the bottom of the barrel. We were the bottom of the barrel of the conference. And we had our offensive coordinator, which he's now the head coach there, was able to get them bought in and do a great job. And that year finishing, in the top of the conference of a lot of the offense. And obviously in that case too, like those guys, we only had like no, we had the most seniors. We had like three seniors, and as far as that picture from the O line, the following year we only had one. So all right, so let's go to some old. All right, share. All right, so this is 2019, my senior year, playing against North Texas. Uh, ended up we won't watch the whole game, but we end up falling short to them. But man, we played them really tough. They couldn't even take their starters out. I think we end up losing like 50 something or 30. But man, it was a great experience. Like kind of I mentioned my story before, being able to kind of go out and play against, college that was right up the street for me. Den's not that far, but man, it was such a kind of, surreal moment to see kind of how I just want to kind of look at the old back, when I was an athlete. So we're running naked here. We were like we were kind of like a pro style kind of offense. So we did a lot of I don't know why it's doing that. Well, Jesus, thing is tripping. Let me exit out of this. Let me exit out of it and load it back in. I don't know what's up with it. Hmm. So I'm not gonna load now. What the hell? There it goes. All right. So now got it up. Now share it. Hopefully it doesn't freaking malfunction. All right. So like I said, we're kind of a pro style offense. Did a lot of stuff like the NFL does as far as huddled up a lot. Uh, a lot of the stuff was on the line of scrimmage, even though we were a no huddle kind of offense. We kind of that's what I'm saying. I don't know why it's doing that. Like I literally didn't have my mouse. Yeah, like it's having a mind of its own. Hmm. Anyways, we didn't get past the first play. Jesus. But we did naked this first play. So kind of again going now again, this is a full gap thing. Again, everybody's responsible for their play side gap, making it look like it's, OZ up front, but we're not like elephants on parade. We're not just running to run. But we are looking for ribs. Now, we were the only two seniors, so it was I'm right here at 64, this right guard and this right tackle right here. So this is me. This is the other senior that graduated with me. Um, and one thing that this the other guy did a really good job of was knocking the hip over so I could be able to finish on this guy. So knocks the hip over, and then I finish on that guy. And that dude was he was a man. I mean, that guy was huge. Pause. But I mean, shit, I'm finding a holy war right there on that. All right, so again, they were an odd team. True, like a 3-4 kind of look. Uh, Now in this case, they didn't really walk this guy down, but he's still you're kind of. So let me draw it up. So you got the nose, end, tackle. You got your rush, kind of a safety. Will, Nick, Sam. That's the kind of the structure right there. Clear it, clear it. There we go. So what are we running? Run GT. All right, so let's go back. And we had a really good center too. He was let's see, uh I mean, he's from the DFW area too as well, but he came from another program, Division One. And I mean, there was a lot of teams that really liked him. He was a really good player. The other guard, um, he ended up playing at Duke. He graduated there. He unfortunately had cancer. No longer with us, but he was a hell of a player and a hell of a person too. I mean, these are again, that's one thing too. I think in college too. That's one thing, especially the brotherhoods and stuff that I built with those guys. Man, it's something that lives on. I mean, again, that was like 7 years ago. I mean, it's even gets steeper, but those are guys, at Abilene that I'll let forever, appreciate, including the coaches, for giving me the opportunity to walk on and be able to kind of, uh, you know, the story that I had prior. I mean, it was great. So, anyways, talk go through this. So we're running GT. So again, now with GT, the way we kind of did it, again, that's kind of why I like the way we do it. Comparatively speaking, here now, again, these are a little bit better athletes than we got. But we would bring in this guy. He was a true freshman at the time. We would bring him. He's an offensive lineman though, but we would have him kind of be our blocking tight end since we were kind of still trying to develop that guy at the time. But it's kind of hard, I guess, to say to do it here. I mean, it's an odd team, so you want to deuce this or where's my? There we go. There we go. So they're deucing this back here. We're technically a or no. We're down. He's down. He's sealing here. So yeah, and obviously there's nobody to really kick in this case. So he ends up having two rappers right here. Pretty sure that's how it plays out here. Yep. So even though obviously that guy comes down, I mean, that's the thing too, is obviously that guy comes down and he becomes a kick. Then obviously we wrap there, end up getting, decent amount of yardage there. What do we do here? Do we think they jumped off sides? Is that what it's been so long too. I'm honestly trying to remember. So the way we would do it now comparatively speaking, to how I taught it with to my guys, because obviously we kind of had lesser. Now in this case, five men, like I feel like we got to teach this universally versus an odd front. But oh, there we go. Now, is there somebody walk there too? So, like say if we had a tailback in here, right? Yeah, at least. All right. We'll just leave it as it is. So say we have a tailback here, right? So usually the way I was taught is the center is man, and especially since we had a really good center, like we could man the center, like we have to worry about him, right? However, everybody else would kind of be in a sort of zone in a read kind of deal. Like the guard would have to read his inside backer, no threat of blitz. His eyes snap to here. Same with a tackle, no threat of blitz from the outside. Like nobody here. Then obviously we know like then it becomes a double team, us two, on the down lineman there. Same with here, right? So now obviously it's a little bit overloaded here. They overload the left here, so what we really could have probably done is obviously we could have kicked it that way, but I don't think we saw this look. So and again, it's third down. They can kind of get cues the very first game of the season, so that's kind of what they decided to end up doing. But like I said, I thought I'm not even sure what the hell we were doing. I obviously looked fucking lost. So it looks like we're running power, running power. Now, so again, right? So we were down with the center. Obviously, kind of he blocked the three, down the nose, deucing this to the backside linebacker, and I should be rapping for five. Now, I understand. Now, I don't. I think John's fine there. He cannot. John, I mean the play side tackle, big 68. I believe that was his number. Now he's trying to obviously have presence through the four or through that down lineman for the tight end. But I think what kind of hurts this double team is his very first step, right? Like he steps so far away from the tight end, and that kind of puts him on an island. But obviously, what happens here is I end up blocking color because obviously there was a lot of color that ended up coming, and we had an RPO attached to it. And empty again. I think there was screen here. Yeah. I think that's good old Kobe Clark. He was a hell of a player. All right, so we're essentially running a tunnel screen here. Now I can think I didn't do a good job was getting out early or getting collision by this nose, but I gotta get out. Now, that's the good thing if you have a good ball carrier, he's able to set up the block, which that's what kind of Kobe did. But again, that's just a good play. Good play by the receiver. I don't want to watch this one. Really break it down. So it's been some years since I watched this. They were just running. I think we're just running outside zone here. Now they stretch us fuck out. Pause. No pause. Anyways, so geez, yeah. Are we running? Are we running outside zone? We running pinning pool. I'm not even sure. Anyways, yeah, it was tough. Uh, I like it though. I like what we're trying to do. I think we got a. Is it an RPO? I think it is an RPO. Yeah, RPO was counter. Oh my God, yo, I like RPOs, man, but like, oh my God, this is like as an offensive lineman, being an offensive line coach, this is why like stuff like this boils an offensive line. What the hell? Now, obviously, I don't think we get to the play side backer or the backside backer. Now, I think that's one thing that I do remember my offensive line coach saying is like that's it depends. I gotta talk to him again because I think I do remember him calling and talking about this. Now in this case, like obviously you don't have to tie it in with you, so you can't you're a man down trying to get to that next line because you got to be able to block everybody down. But I'm just saying, like, hand the damn ball off, right? Run the damn ball, whatever. Nah, who knows? I mean, that dude freaking made the tackle be a 2 or 3 yard game. Mm. So, all right. So is this the next play? All right, yeah, that's it. All right. So we just run the same play. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. That was not good by yours truly. Jesus. That's the thing I do remember about the scouting report. So obviously I talked about that big D lineman. 34 was like probably their best interior pass rusher. Jesus Christ. So I believe we're sliding my way too, which that's not yeah, so man. I mean that's the tough part is that's a really good disguised by this penetrator right here, this D lineman, because he's the penetrator in this twist. So he's obviously trying to beat the shit out of me, and then obviously he will then. I mean, he's really my fault. He's the looper, but he's doing a good job as far as again rushing, and then he naturally lets the pick happen with the DN. Now the DN just runs right into me, but that was not good by me. Let's see what happens next one. Yeah, I don't even know. That's the thing too. I don't even know why the hell am I setting like that? Jesus, not a good set by me. Uh, think they end up coming out the next year. I'm not tripping. No tripping. All right, what do we do? Got a little motion. I think we ran a screen. Yeah, we did some screens out of this, which I don't know why though. Hmm. I guess I'm saying I don't know why the action of the O line, why we did that. I kind of do remember that. I don't know how much more we did of it, but because we're essentially we're bringing everybody to the screen doing that. Hey, con. Ooh, all right. What happens here? Mm, yeah, that's tough. So I think we're kind of doing the same thing. Obviously, you would like the tackle to be able to collect one of these guys, but you would still have a free hitter. Like you would like the tackle to be able to collect number two there. He'd still have a free hitter, 24. Which I think I do remember our line coach. So some of these points are starting to come back in my head. Holy shit! Like, is that me again? Damn. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the hard part about it. But again, this is why again I only play this far. But so when it comes to this type of pro, you're like we got to be able to move fast, right? So again, 23 did a pretty good job. Skies like again, that's where my eyes are at, right? And I'm thinking he's now again tackling. He could be a little bit firmer here, but again, these are better. These are way better athletes than yours truly, right? Yeah, I don't know why I'm freaking setting nose though. My feet are going right to the damn nose. Mm-mm-mm. There you go, Luke. There you go, Luke. All right. I think we just go. Yeah, we're full sliding it. Which, how the hell does, man? Oh boy, just stay with it. Just stay with them. Just be firm, right? Yeah, I guess he just thinks it. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Just stay with it. That's the thing is like if movement will happen, right? Now, I get like what he's thinking, but like I get what Kay's thinking, right? Like if he goes backside, like there's some like my tackle's gonna be with me. But the thing is, like in this defense, right? Like he's already snapped, right? He's already like past the center. Like you know, just take it, own it. That's what I think I remember our line coach telling him, just own it. Because like that's hard for fucking you're gonna tell the backside tackle to block the nose. Like that's not gonna happen. Obviously, unless bar and no movement, which didn't really move. God, again, what are we running? We're running GH. Gets a piece. And shout out this little fullback, good old TT. He's coaching now, coaching the offensive line now. Getting a little jaw jacking back and love it. Yeah, I think we called another score. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like, I didn't do a good job of it. Is obviously when you get off on these screens, you're influencing the D line, thinking it's pass, but like you got to be violent with your hands and see how 34 is still able, like he's holding on to me. Like if I would have did a better job being violent with my hands, I could have got off that sooner. All right, I think we're just running, so it's wrong. So obviously, let movement, one step, two cross my face. I'm staying on my track. It's a good job by Reese snapping it off. But again, right, see, like right there, I got to do a better job. Drive, like in this case, driving my feet on contact. Obviously, this guy, makes the play and he makes it for like a 4 or 5 yard gain. But if I'm driving my feet, that could be a broken tackle possibly. Yeah, we get 5 yards there. So yeah, man, I remember this. My pulls were just fucking atrocious. That's one thing. Like I love skip pulling. That's one thing that we were taught too, right? Skip pulling. I don't know. I guess my eyes right here. Like it's technically right by the law, the rule. Like I'm pulling here right for number 23 right now. I don't know if we really. Again, it's been some years, right? I don't know if we really because this is a 4-man front. Like obviously they've been playing odd most of this time. I don't know if we necessarily went over this or discussed this, but like if we get this kind of box, like this is almost a 4-3 kind of box. Like really, we could deuce here. We're back here. We're there. My fault. My fault. My fault. My fault. My fault. This deuce. This deuce can go there. Back. Since again, this is two back power, right? We got another guy fit here, so we could go all the way down at 23, and I could wrap right here for 5, right? And then obviously we're making this guy make a tackle, the safety, and B got bench. So things I actually don't remember doing all this stuff. I'm pretty sure those guys' ages and get a 2 yard gain. I think we're just running zone here. Oh my god. Ah. So again, I didn't do a good job of this. So once this happens, right, this guy spins out of it, again, just stay on my track, stay on my track, you know, go there or obviously go here, but I oh, well, oh, or obviously the guy that comes into falling off to my right tackle there. Okay, John Jackson. Ooh, yeah, and they kind of figured that was coming. If he stayed connected though, we probably still be running. So this running GT. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I do recall this now. So that's the thing too, is like um now being a part, like again, if you have a quarterback too, I think that can run, you know, like it could help a lot with this too, because you can start, to read people. Um One thing that I learned too, at least when it comes to running gas schemes versus a four, especially if you felt you come block the four, we would art we art here, we would double team, you still keep a deuce on there, you would kick here, wrap here, and then again you still have to obviously account for this four. But like I said, if you don't want to block a four, obviously you could read this here, put the tailbacks, or you keep it like this, and then you could arc here, or you could have keep the tailback over here and run like almost like a bash kind of look right there. But I do recall this. He said, yeah, I recall this. He said, block it a different way because you would always have that backside. You always have that backside guy not accounted for because we would have to down everything. Better job picking up the twist. Yeah, man, I think I'll wrap it up right there. Yeah, man, I just wanted to, like I said, I know it's been a little bit. Just want to give you guys a little bit of something. I know, like I said, it's been quite a while. Um, you know, kind of want to talk a little bit more too. So obviously, this, my little personal channel when it comes to talking about football and kind of the X's and O's and kind of what I've learned throughout the years. Again, not to say that I'm, a guru or master or anything of that nature. But, I think it's just good knowledge to share, whether it be obviously the X's and O's aspect, kind of what I've learned through my prior experience, but the relationships and just the values that have come along through my experience and what I've learned and gathered from the sport. With that being said, though, there's other avenues too. I'm not just like, a football coach or a savant. Like, obviously I love the study of the game. I love the game. I've always want to learn more, but there's other aspects to, me as a person. And that's why too, I think, this coming, whether it be the next couple, I hope to bring you guys some other content and some if obviously if you know me and you follow me as a person you kind of have been familiar with some of the things that me and my brothers kind of do. But I come from a family and those are always kind of obviously they're my brothers, it's my family, but those are always guys that you know I think we can always kind of spark some good conversations, whether it be it's not always just about sports. Like we love to talk, um, some things that we love to talk about are like superheroes, music, whatever's the kind of topic or trend of the time in that matter. But yeah, it's kind of some things though that we'll bring to you kind of together on our own channel. Again, on if again, my last name's Akers. And we talk about it on the Makers Boys. So, uh, and we'll bring you a YouTube channel, kind of just central around kind of that type of stuff. But if you could, if obviously if you like checking out, football stuff just in general, obviously you keep, sticking with this channel. But that's another channel we're gonna kind of start to ramp up a little bit, kind of talk bi-weekly, about some of the stuff that maybe, that we peak it, find interest in and kind of go from there. But, I appreciate you if you've obviously stuck around through this video. I know it's probably been long. I'm not even sure how long as far as the recording is at, but like I said, I honestly, whenever I start talking football, it doesn't even feel that long, but I know I'm kind of getting to a point now where I got some stuff to do. And but I enjoy, like I said, talking about this stuff, and there's other stuff I kind of want to talk about too. But I appreciate you if you stuck around this long. If you could, obviously like, comment, leave your thoughts, whether whatever stuck out to you. If you have questions about, I'm always open to the dialogue. So leave a comment. If you like what you see, obviously you can subscribe. But I appreciate you guys. Like I said, we'll be back and do some more stuff. Uh, yeah, whether it be here or on our other channel. But appreciate you guys.